All right, viewers, here we go. So we're going to be putting in today a three-way switch and a single switch. Two individual switches right here. You're going to get to see the whole scenario here on how we're actually going to do this. So very important that you have everything marked and labeled, because right now it's easy to identify here. When you look at the wires, you see OL, that's outside. This is my hieroglyphics, I guess, if you want to call it. Outside light, smoke detectors, hall light, line feeding everything, and then we have our three-way 14-3 circuit there for the three-way circuit. There's another switch on the other end of this wire. You'll get to see that a little later in the video. Very important that everything is labeled and detailed where you can see. Now see my little cheat sheet right here? I've got everything labeled on the layout of the wires, because here in about 2 minutes it's going to look totally different of what it currently looks like. So watch what I'm doing here. So here we go. I'm using, this is actually a cable skinner that I like, that works really well. It works, everybody has their own choice of tools that they like to use. This is what I like to use. It's very important on skinning wire. When you're skinning Romex, you can really do a lot of damage and create a lot of extra work if you don't know how to use the knife. Do not use a utility knife to skin wire. This is a cable stripper. This is one made by Klein. I like it. It works in my hand really well. I can manage it and handle it very good. So let me just kind of give you an overview on how to skin Romex wires with one of these, for example. Notice how I've done these kind of quick here, because I'm so used to kind of just doing it there without thinking. So what I'm actually doing is I'm pressing the knife in the wire next to the ground wire, because the ground wire has no insulation on it. There, let me show you right here. So this is what it looks like inside this Romex wire right here. I'm taking this blade and I'm running this blade right down the side of that ground wire, sliding it, not cutting into the wire, but turning the blade where it slides directly down the side of the wire. So that's very important. So here, let's do it again right here. So you gotta get it started and slide it right down the wire. All right, let's do that one more time. Very important that you know where your blade is and which wires that it's touching. All right, see how we done that? Very, very important. See, we haven't cut any of the, we didn't cut the hot wire, the black wire, the white wire, the neutral. We didn't cut that on any of them, and we'll know here in a minute. So now we're gonna cut all this excess off and get right to it here. All right, now looks a lot different. A lot different there. So, all right, so this is how we're going to do this. I'm going to try to talk you through this where it's easy to figure out. So what I'm going to start with is these grounds. I'm going to kind of figure out where I want them to end up at, and I'm going to push them all in the back of the box here. You'll see what I'm fixing to do here. There's several ways to do this. Everybody has kind of their own way. This is the way I do them. I'm pushing them all in the back of the box. Hazel, can you see that really well? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. This is Hazel, my daughter, assisting me in this video where we can get you some good, clean shots on everything we're doing. And so this is what we're going to do for all the grounds. I want to do this different. This is not the way most people do this, but just kind of watch what I do there. These are special connectors I use called a push-in. These are made by actual Wago. These are really, really nice here. This is a 5-port. You can put a total of 5 wires in this one. And the nice thing about these, you know, you could actually put stranded wire in these, and you can take these in or out with these clips, which is really nice. Really nice. So here we go. So now I'm doing all the grounds right here, and we're going to get those. When you do these, make sure it can't come out. Pull on it because it's so easy to put them in where they're not in as they should be, and then they pull out, then they defeat the purpose of doing what the connector should do. So now we got all 4 of those in. We're going to come back to that, and you'll see how I'm going to finish that here in a minute. Now we're going to move over to the actual neutrals. This wire right here is my actual hot wire coming from the panel that's feeding these 2 light circuits, which is a hall light and an outside light outside this door. So we're going to go to the neutrals next, and we're going to do them similar to the way we done the grounds, all neutrals tie together. And this right here is the hall light neutral. So we're going to tie it to the neutral coming from the panel. Let's see, this one right here is our smoke detector neutral. We're going to tie it together. And this right here is our outside light neutral. Now all 4 of these tie together. Notice I didn't grab this one because this is not actually a neutral. Yes, it is a white wire, but it is not the neutral. This is for the 3-way switch circuit. All right, we're going to get to that here in just a minute. So let's terminate these. And very important, I'm using wire skinners. Very important that you know how to use these, or you can make some major mistakes here by using the wrong size, because it will crease the wire and the wire will break. So very important that you use the right. Again, this is 14-2. All these wires in this box is 14-2. So I'm using size 14 holes, and these are Klein wire strippers. There's tons of these out there. So again, I'm going back to my little Wago connectors. I love these little suckers. These are really great to work with. All right, remember, when you stick that sucker in, pull on it after you lock it down to make sure it's in properly. And another way, here, I'll show you here just a minute after I get these in. You can see the end of the wires here. Hazel, can you see that? Get a good video where you see the end of the wires in your clear connectors. I'm sure they're made that way for a reason. Good connection right there. We are completely done with the neutral here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it up completely in the back of the box out of my way, because we've got to make room for other things that are going in here. Okay, so here we go. So now we're going to move over to, let's get our hots together. This is our line coming from our panel, and it needs to feed the hall light, and it needs to feed the outside light. So some other things that are going to be tying to that is, okay, our smoke detector circuit. Let's talk about that for a minute. It is important that your smoke detector circuit is tied into a major light circuit within the home or building that you're in. So if the breaker trips or there's an issue and it shuts off, that way you are kind of notified of it there. So that's the reason I've got it tied into a hall light that they use every single day. So if they notice the hall light off, they say, oh wait, something's going on. Very important. And your inspector actually wants to see that as well. Okay, so here's our line wire once again. This is our smoke detector hot wire right here. We want to tie it with the hot wire. And now let me show you how we're going to address this. So now we have to feed this. This is our outside light. This is our hall light. So this is what we're going to have to do right here. So I'm going to take the hall light wire and I'm going to bring it down here with the 3-way switch wire, and I'm going to take the black one out, okay? And I'm going to make the black one hot. What that's going to do, because this set of wires are hot from the panel, it's going to send power down this switch circuit. We'll get to that here shortly, but let's finish one circuit at a time where I don't confuse anybody here. So once again, using my lovely little connector here. All right, so let's just focus on this one right here. So this right here is my outside light. So here's the outside light in this direction, a foot from the door. So you want to be able to hit that light going out. So I'm going to put it next to the door. And we're going to use a single pole switch here. So let me just kind of show you what we're doing. Again, this wire right here is the outside light. These are a special switch that I use called, they have what they call a side wire terminal on them there. Instead of the wire going around this, wrapping around the screw, which on normal switches they do that. This is a kind of a commercial grade switch that I like to use for this purpose. See the little connectors right here? It's got the little tab behind the screw. This is why I like them. You'll actually see them here. I'll turn this around where you can see this here in a minute. There, let's get it where you can see it. See the little tab right there? That wire slides in right behind there, and you can tighten that, and it makes a really great connection there. So that's going to the outside light. Now we have to bring power from here to feed the outside light. So this is how we're going to do this. We're going to bring another wire here and put it in there. I'm going to grab my screwdriver that I dropped. And we're going to stick that right in there. And we're going to stick it right in this connector. Okay, so that just brought power. So when I flip this switch to the on position, that's the off position, it's the on position, the light comes on. All right, so now that's our outside light circuit. Now let's move to the three-way switch circuit here. So back to our three-way switch circuit here. So now remember, I swapped the wire, which was up here, which goes to the actual hall light, and I brought it down here to the set of 14.3. I replaced it. So what I initially did is I brought the power. The power is going to be on the opposite switch here, which you're going to see in a minute. We refer to the red wire and the white wire as the traveler wires. So that black wire, which is the hot wire feeding the hall light, is going to go down one of these from the other switch and come back. And it's going to come back down one of these and go to this wire, which is the hall light. So here we go. So notice right here. So on this is a three-way switch, different from the regular single pole switch. Notice how it has two switches on this side. See how this one is actually dark? This one's gold, and this one's green for the ground there. So watch how I do this. So the black wire is going to go on the black screw. Now, it doesn't matter which red or white wire goes on which side. I just have a routine that I always do, and I keep it consistent in all my wiring. Do you have to do that? No, you don't. It's what I do. So I put the black and red together. So on all my switches, in any of the houses that I do, including my own, you'll see all of my three-way circuits done the exact same way. There again, there's my little connection there with the wire sliding right behind that little tab. That's why I use these switches. I really like them. And now, let me show you how I do the actual grounds here. So, instead of having two ground wires come out there, what I actually did is I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to loop around and catch this ground right here. And then I'm gonna loop around. Let's get the switches. A three-way switch does not have an on and off indicated on it. A single pole switch running a single light has an on and off. If it says no, the switch is upside down. So this switch is going to look just like this. So now it's in the on position, and now it's in the off position. So watch what I do here with these grounds. I thought it would be easier to show on a video if I did it this way. Now watch what I do. Keep watching. Now I'm actually going to do this right here. Watch. I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to so here we go. So finishing up this ground here. Grounds are very important. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'm tying these two wires together right here. This is kind of tight quarters here, so. So we're doing that. See how those two are actually tied together right here? And then that one's going back in the connector. So boom, and now we have room for everything. So there we go. All right, so the grounds are done. The hots are done. Now we got to fold everything up, back up in this box nice and neat. So when we put the switches in, there. Very important that you push the grounds out of the way so they don't come up and rub the side of the screws there. Kind of take your time, tuck things in there where they go. Don't get too aggressive with it. And there is no, it doesn't matter if this switch, this is the three-way switch feeding the hall light. It makes no difference if it's this way or the other way, because when the other switch is flipped, it's going to change everything. So it doesn't matter which orientation the switch goes there. So here we go. Alrighty, now we're going to jump right over there to the other end of the three-way switch, which is right over here. Hazel, you follow me and we will back right up over there to this switch over here. So this is the other end of the three-way switch that we're hooking up over there, and you can see this one is a lot simpler hooking up here. The other nice thing I like about using these switches is we don't have to curl the wire. We have to, when I say curl the wire, this is what I'm referring to. We have to do it for the actual ground. Or let's see, maybe this one, let's see. So yes, we have to actually do it for the ground here. So this is the three-way switch, just like the one we put in. It's just on the other end. And like I said, this is the orientation that I put my wires. That's the hot wire coming over. This is the traveler. And there it is. Always pull on your wires, make sure you got a good connection. It's so easy for them to slip off. And then again, doesn't matter which way the switch goes. This is a three-way switch, so when you flip one switch, it's gonna change it on the other end. So I want to talk about the switches there that I use a little bit, just to give you the information in case you're wondering. So for the actual three-way switch, this is the actual part number. This is made by Eaton there, and there's the number where you can see that that's for your actual three-way switch here. And I will grab the one for the single pole switch. Is Eaton as well. It's still an Eaton product, and here's the part number for it for your single pole switches there. So hope this helps there with your three-way switch installation there. They can be a little bit tricky, but knowing just a little about them, I think this video might help you. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe. Thank you. So now our switches are in the wall boxes as they should be. The cover is on. Notice how you can see the off position. That means that that switch is in correctly and it's not upside down. If it said no, that means it's in upside down. So this is for our outside light about outside the door here. And this is our three-way hall light switch here. And notice how it doesn't have an on or an off on it, because that's the way three-way switches are made, that they do not indicate. So there we go.